Welcome, my trusty YouTube follower nerdizzles, you pedal nerds, and those who have never seen me, hello. It's possible, you know, that you've never seen me. Well, what you're gonna see a lot here is me drinking coffee. Right now, out of a D'Addario cup. I've been asked because I, mention products. Well, this is gear reviews. Obviously, I mention products. And the longer I'm doing it, the more friends I'm getting at certain distributors and companies. And, they sent me stuff, which is awesome. I will only repeatedly mention things like D'Addario or use stuff like, the Mesa or the Martin stuff or whatever, the Joyo amps. I will only use this stuff if I actually believe it's good. If they throw shitloads of money at me, yeah, it would still not be fair to you guys to mention it. So, these stands that you see here, actually, why is the Strat over here? I can actually say Strat because this is a Fender. They are Bulldog stands. And why am I mentioning it? Because I've been asked. I just use some products sometimes and then you guys come and say, hey, what is this? Can you tell me? And I'm like, you know what? Now I gotta mention it because otherwise they're gonna ask me over and over again. But if I mention it too much, you're gonna say I'm paid by these companies. No, I'm not. They sent me these stands. I'm actually gonna do some photos for them. Because they don't have enough guitars at their factory. They only have jazz and acoustic guitars. I said, hey, send me some stands. I'll take some nice pictures. That's kind of the deal. That's why I have these. And they're kind of cool to put behind me in the video. It's better than you looking at the floor. That was my thinking, I think. So, the Viscous Vibe. Is it vicious? Is it viscous? I think it's viscous. A thick fluid. That's the sound it makes. What is a vibe? Vibration. Uni-Vibe. The Uni-Vibe was actually meant to replace a Leslie speaker cabinet in pedal form. Sometime in the, I'm gonna say 60s. I have no idea. I'm just making shit up here. No, it actually was meant to replace the Leslie speaker. Possibly for church organs, for B3s. The Leslie speaker, as you can see right there, is a big-ass wooden box with two speakers. A low speaker that moves around really fast, a high horn that moves around really fast. Traditionally, you mic the low speaker with a single microphone, and every time it comes around, obviously, you woo, woo, woo. The high speaker, the horn, because highs are more directional, you can mic with two microphones and get a stereo effect going woo, 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 or woo, 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 woo. You know what I mean? So, it was supposed to do that. It sucked at it. What it didn't suck at was being a Uni-Vibe. So that's what happened. A new effect was born. Actually, the Shinai, apparently, that's what it's called, big-ass box, it even had like a foot pedal or something. Hendrix used it like crazy. And this is what this is trying to be. An inexpensive digital replica with a lot of possibilities through the editor of a Shinai Uni-Vibe, which on it apparently said chorus and vibrato instead of Uni-Vibe, because you know what? It wasn't a Uni-Vibe until people decided it is. You know what I mean? That sound didn't exist because it was trying to be a Leslie speaker, which it sucked at, and it's a great Uni-Vibe, if you know what I mean. So, I love the Uni-Vibe sound, and I'm using it more heavily than chorus, flanger, or phaser, which it kind of is all of them in some way. I use it more heavily than those, actually, since I got the Jeddah Vibe 2 years ago. And that's an analog vibe boutique pedal, very, very cool. I also really like the Martin Purple Moon, which has 2 speeds and a fuzz built in, because that is the classic kind of Hendrixy kind of thing. You use it with a fuzz and you're in Hendrix territory. We're not going to do that because I don't know how to do any Hendrix stuff. I also use my vibe in vibe. For Germans, that's pretty funny. Vibe. That's like a derogatory term for your wife. Mein Vibe. I'm stupid. You knew that. Where was I? in the Mobius from Strymon. So I actually use Uni-Vibe quite a bit. So we're looking at this. I'm refraining from using it in stereo for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is most of you don't have stereo set up, so what's the point? Reason number 2 is I'm lazy. So we're only doing mono. I'm sorry. So we have the Strat here. We're going Strat, Viscous Vibe, into the Tube Screamer Mini, into the Boogie Mark 525, which is then going into 112 cab down in the basement. That's a Fender cab, mic'd with a Sennheiser E609, going up here into the Apollo straight in, Universal Audio Apollo. So, actually I'm going through volume pedal to cut out volume. In the effects loop, I've got a Strymon and some Eventides and some other stuff, in case we need that. So, we are on chorus setting, which is pretty much the Uni-Vibe sound. If you want to see how we beam things to it with a mobile device, in this case iPhone, that comes later. If you want to actually see the editor and the myriad of possibilities you have when hooking this up with the included USB cable, that's coming too. Because TC makes these videos long, it's not me, it's their freaking features. I'm gonna try not to play so much, which is, you know, sorry, but we're looking at features, not playing. Who cares about what I play? So. That's my clean sound, isn't it beautiful? The controls, speed, what could that do? Intensity, that's how much it does what it does. And volume is actually not a mix or anything, that's an overall volume. So, with intensity up, straight, speed at 9 o'clock, it sounds like this. It's very difficult to describe. Is it a chorus? Well, no, yeah, maybe. It's more flangy, phasy-like. I would always describe it as it gives you sound depth and a lot of movement. It's not a subtle effect ever, but it makes you sound movable. Do you notice that when you turn it off? It takes a while to actually turn off the sound. Again, there's latency in these pedals. Check this out. So, that could be a problem when on a board. My recommendation, use it in a looper. Use it in a looper switcher. You know me. I love the G-Lab GSC4. Of course, if you want to get the inexpensive stuff, get the Joyo PXLs. That definitely a lot of bang for the buck. If you want to get a really awesome one, get the Boss ES8, blah, blah, blah. Many of them on my channel all have their pros and cons. Really depends on what you're looking for. But if you have it in looper, it's always on, because it takes a while to turn off thing. Not the greatest. Don't know what that's about. Gonna get full intensity, but we're gonna make it a little bit slower. And for me, that is already too fast. I would kind of like a... if you know what I mean. And this is, wow. It's already too fast, if you ask me, but maybe we can set that up in the editor. We're gonna find out! I have to be honest, I have trouble setting this up to find something I like. You know? Because it's always a little bit too much and too fast. That's already way too much. Kind of like here is maybe, you know, what I would do. So for me personally, it makes a lot of the range of the knobs kind of not really usable. But that's personal. Let's try it with some Tube Screamer goodness. And I have it in front of the Screamer because for me, that kind of is a filter. A filter is kind of like a wah. A wah is in front of the drive. That's my thinking. So I'm going to try to use it kind of like you would use a wah, but kind of like a continuously going wah. Maybe we're going to go to the crunch channel. Back in between position, roll off the tone, which is kind of like a strat trick, and engage the El Capitan tape delay. That is serious fun. I want to try that with the Hartung. Because that guitar is fun! We go right in the back, why not? You know, sex. likey a lot. Feels a little bit out of tune, if you ask me. But maybe that's just me. What do I know? What do I know? Good enough, right there. So, vibrato. That's always kind of like a, what the fuck do you need that for? But again, personally, me. Because that seriously detunes. That is literally, I cannot say that, literally going, it's detuning your sound. Kind of a difficult sound. And again, you might want something fucked up. And there you go. Sounds like a lot of frogs fighting. Actually, there is probably a musical use for that. I challenge you to find that. Let's be a little bit more subtle. That tube screamer is just creamy. But we go back to chorus because we haven't looked at a really, really cool function of the Viscous Vibe from TC Electronic, TonePrint series. When you hold in the bypass switchy Rooney, it can actually change speeds. So that's our setup speed. And the light shows you that we've changed it. So that's really cool because that's what you can do with a Leslie cab, and that's the really, really cool thing that a Leslie cab does, the speeding up and slowing down. Now, can you control how fast it does that? I think the editor can. Now we're going to go to the TonePrint. I don't know what's saved there, but let's see how it sounds different. Now we're much closer to the speed that I like. And it can speed up quite a bit, as you can see. Just look at the light. And it slows down again. Freaking nice. So what we do is we go to TonePrint. We are on TonePrint. This time not like when we did it with the hypergravity. La 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 la. We actually have the pickups on, or the sound on. I'm going to show you. So here we are in the app. Let me see if we can do this. Kind of like that. Goes, we have nothing featured here. So we go by product, and somewhere here we find the, down there, the Viscous Vibe. We have Devin Townsend, Mika Van Bock, and multiple tone prints. Let's go to Devin Townsend's TC for my bunghole, which is just freaking funny. So when you click beam to pedal, you hold it on the pickup, which in this case is the back pickup, doesn't really matter. And now we got Devin Townsend's own tone print on here. How cool is that? That's pretty much how simple that is. And as you can see, it slows down. It doesn't immediately go to the speed that you pick. Devin, you motherfucker, that's one creamy ass vibe sound. So let's see if we can do the thing with the editor without Cubase crapping out on me, which is always a little bit of an issue. We have a little bit of a buzzy, fuzzly, huzzly here because I'm hooked up into the computer now with USB, and that seems to create some, you know, fuzzy, buzzy, huzzy. It is incredibly easy to use the editor because you plug it in and it once the editor is open, at least on the Mac, it immediately finds the pedal Very easy. So we can go again in here. Go to this, send to pedal, which it now doesn't show you, but we're gonna see if it actually does that. It does. That's it. Would be nice if it showed you with the green thing that it is, got something. Count Funkula. Hey, that sounds cool. One knew how to play funk. Pretty cool, kind of a hollow sound. But what we want to see is the editor. Here's the editor. Looks different than the Hypergravity or any of the other ones. So let's see what the editor has in store for us. Vintage Uni-Vibe. Holy flying crap. Those are all presets. Smooth Uni-Vibe. Chorus Uni-Vibe. Hollow Leslie. Leslie Vibes. How do they know Leslie? And she doesn't even like the Uni-Vibe. That's weird. So let's analyze what happened here just to show you what the editor can do. Down here, the speed knob is actually controlling two different things. And you can actually see it control these with those two little knobby doohickeys here. Can you see that? So the speed knob is controlling, with the yellow line, the speed, but the speed for the high rotor is being controlled separately and is faster. As you can see that here, it's generally faster. So you can see the default speed starts at 200 megahertz. What? Should be hertz. Okay. That speed seems those 9,000 hertz, 9 hertz, 200, 1 hertz. That's really, I don't know what the M stands for because we are talking about really, really slow speeds that we want. Anyway, let's see what the, whoa, it does depth. But you can see that the curve is not linear here. Do you see that? The curve is actually exponential. I'm gonna say exponential is the word. What do I know about math? But you could add, let me just show you, in addition to intensity, we could add drive to that with more intensity in a logarithmic curve. Let's call it logarithmic, if that's the word. See, now the more depth we get, the more drive we get. Actually, you could be really cool. That is the amazing thing about this thing. The less depth you get, the more drive you have. Check this out. So full depth is not a lot of drive. No depth is a lot of drive. Such a simple interface in such an effective way to give this little box for 100 and whatever 40 bucks or something around that, maybe 130. So many possibilities. This is pretty much, these are all the parameters you would have on a studio level rack gear box thingy. So let's check this out. Can I assign something to volume? Because sometimes that's not possible. Oh no, it is. So let's say I don't want the output level. Instead of the output level, hey, we have mix. There we go. And that's what I was talking about earlier, that it only does output level. No, it does whatever the fuck you want it to. So, now, mix is down, nothing happens. Pretty transparent if you ask me. Yeah, pretty much does nothing to the signal if you don't want it to. That's interesting. When the mix is all the way up, you only have the vibe sound. But the problem with that is that it only works together with the original guitar signal. It's the difference between the two. So getting full mix is kind of pointless. Let's see what other parameters we have here. We have the speed for the subtype, attack, release. Holy crap. Depth, mix, phase reverse left, phase reverse right. If we're going in stereo, you can play around with those. Out level, feedback. That's obviously not what the original Uni-Vibe sounded like, but hey, you can get crazy shit here. So that's what I wanted to know. I had to find the right parameters. In addition to the Uni-Vibe sound, there is actually a chorus. That is freaking crazy. Yeah. So if you play around with it a little bit, you can actually have a tone print that, in addition to your Uni-Vibe sound, is also a chorus. It's pretty much anything you can imagine a vibe ever to be, and then some. You can do it all right here. That's frickin' crazy. Here's my 2 cents.
We're in front of the door. Congo's sharing a spot with us, right, Congo? You don't care about these people. You just want treats. Hey, Bruno, come here. Come, Bruno. He thinks something's going on here that involves treats and food. Right? You heard the word treats. Wood. Oops. Viscous Vibe? Oh, man. Now I was on the Congo blanket with the Velcro and there's fuzzy wuzzies all over it. Okay, what's the point here? I have to say, vibrato mode, not for me, maybe for you. I have to say that the built-in chorus mode, which means the Uni-Vibe mode, for me doesn't hold the fascination and the depth of sounds that I would want. It doesn't go slow enough, even on slow speeds, and you have to be very careful with the intensity. If you want overdone crazy sounds, it can do this immediately, but the real coolness and the amazing ability, amazingness of this pedal is when you go to the TonePrint, you go to the editor, and you build your own. You can make your own speed up, slow down speed, all that stuff. Truly, truly amazing. You can get exactly the Uni-Vibe sound that you want. It takes some fiddling around with it, but then you've got it. And at that price point, as far as I understand, analog vibes are difficult to do because of something called opto somethings, relays, and it needs 4 of them. Brad Jetta explained that to me once. I don't understand electronics. So it's difficult to make them small. It's difficult to make them good. This is definitely a good one. It's digital, but it's the sound is great if you fiddle around with what you want. Maybe you liked immediately what the chorus setting could give you. For me, it wasn't exactly that, but then you fiddle around with it in the TonePrint editor, you can get exactly what you want. Like all the TonePrint pedals, very, very cool. Fully stereo. I like that the power is on the top, USB. It tells you how much milliamps it wants. They actually use less than 100. But the very cool thing is that as a digital pedal, it needs less or 100 milliamps, which means you can power it with the average output on every power supply. So you don't need a special digital output. So that's pretty cool. There's a big ass screw right here to take this off and put a battery in. I would recommend using a power supply. At the price that TC is selling these, with all these features, we're just making these videos long, TC has established themselves as pretty much completely unbeatable by other companies. There's other companies out there, they do good pedals, but frankly, nothing can compete with these. Not with the TonePrint, not with the beaming, not with the sounds they have, not with the compactedness, the stereoness. Unless the digital thing turns you off. Great pedal, TC, as always. You bastards. Right, Congo? Mwah. You want to keep it? You don't care. You so don't care. Okay. See you guys. I'm filming the Spark Booster next.